It is already possible for Ripple and XRP to connect to the world's banking system through IP. From now on, Ripple's technology will change how money goes around the world. This video shows how. With Interloop Protocol, you can move up or down as much as you want. We'll also talk about that. Join me as I learn more about the Mohaloop Interloop system and how Ripple fits into all of this. I only had a minute to talk about Interloop. It's free and easy to use Mojaloop to make payment platforms that connect people with digital finance companies and work with other platforms. As you can see, Ripple helped make Mojaloop. Ripple was the first company to use the name. This technology, which was also made by Ripple, is easy to see. More people can use the open source interface that helps financial markets around the world work together. There was news in October 2017 from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that their level 1 project would be increased. They were going to work with Ripple and all of the other companies on the list. With the interledger system, Mojaloop links all the people in an economy, from buyers and sellers to banks and the government. This lets the world's poorest people send and receive money and keep it in their phones. We already know that's where our lives are going. Soon we won't have to carry around pockets full of credit cards because everything will be digital. I think you can right now. You can already pay for things with your credit card by pressing a button on your phone. As we get more digital money sources, that will soon be the rule. What did Perplexity say when they were told more about Mojaloop and Interlayer Protocol? You should have asked. That's what I was able to find through Ripple's work on joint protocol creation and ongoing partnerships with the Mojaloop Foundation. Ripple and Mojaloop are related. These are the most important links, and Mojaloop is a free piece of software that helps people who don't have bank accounts get money. The interlayer protocol and compliance layer of Ripple are used. With the interlayer system, it's easy for different payment networks to connect and do business with each other. Banks, mobile money apps, and stores are all part of these networks. Mojaloop picked the interledger protocol to solve the problem of digital payments not being able to talk to each other. This means that people can do business just as easily with this method as with cash. And it talks about the progress. You've already talked about this. This took place in 2017. There were only a few. Around this time, the ICO craze started. Of course, Ripple was the best technology available at the time. Since Ripple and its proof of work were so expensive to use, it made sense that Ripple was there. I want you to think about this in a bigger picture. Don't just check out Mojaloop and these links. As this story gets bigger, I think you'll see more and more news about it. Just think about what other companies use in interledger protocol and how Ripple's technology has grown over the last 10 years. The Gates Family Foundation, one of Ripple's previous chief technology officers, CTO, started a company called Coil. The two have joined forces to use interledger protocol and look into how Mojaloop can help payment systems that help the poor, especially in developing economies. Also, I have a free course that will teach you everything you need to know about crypto in less than an hour. If you leave a comment below, I'll send you the link. Secret Sage, I did want to show you some more things here. In essence, Swift is saying that the request to use Ripple's interledger protocol on the Swift network has been approved, as shown on the ISO 2022 website. In a way, we were already connected to the Swift system through the interledger protocol, and these connections can be seen right here: settlement and clearing of funds and settlement. That's it. This deal was made on October 8, 2024. I looked at some of the papers that were put on this page not long ago, at the end of last year. It's also possible for you guys to get these papers on your own. This is what Smoke is doing. If you want to do it yourself, learn more about how to study or just get better at some things, you can use that. Putting this in a Word file, it was a Mojaloop Foundation. He only wants to show you all the proof and make sense of everything, which is what we want, right? We want to be able to study this in more depth when we get the chance to make sure everything is right before the interledger protocol. After that, it goes straight to the interledger protocol. So putting it all together, right? Saw back after seeing that, it would be great to see that the interledge standard is the same as HTTP. Here it is. Here is a list of steps that show how everything should work. This is how Ripple sends money from one blockchain to another, from Alice to Bob, sending money behind the scenes, this is how things work. It's not very clear, even though it's not too hard to understand. But I find it interesting that this whole thing was planned out years ago. Okay, this video is good. In the past, Stephen Thomas was CTO and said that the interledger standards were made so that the XRP ledger could work anywhere in the world. Check this out. You used to be able to chart your collection, but now you don't have that option. One of the biggest problems with that is that your data is spread out in different areas. The story doesn't end there though. How do you put it back together? We were thinking about how to connect to banks and their ledgers at the same time. Also, how to connect to all of these old systems. That's why we started to think about integration in a broader sense rather than just like, how do we solve this problem? Interoperability, not just for this neighborhood, but for the whole world. Right away, we found our way to IntelliLedger, but that will take longer. That's a bigger, longer term goal, and it takes time to get there. Just like when we first started working on IntelliLedger. I see. I also have some information here. Different types of currencies can work together with the XRP system, which may be the most important part of the Internet of Value. It also lets payments be made directly straight through processing. STP, how many times have government papers shown us useful information on the web? Hi, my name is Doc K. This is also Marcus Traders. Hey, Marcus, Tesher, what I said. I hope. He used to be the CEO of Ripple and is now talking about how the interledger system lets XRP grow forever. To put it another way, Visa is one of the biggest payment networks in the world. In general, Visa gets about 10,000 transactions per second, TPS. But if it goes live, like when everyone shops and spends money for Christmas, that number can hit 50,000 TPS. Many people say that XRP can only go as high as 1,500 or 3,000 TPS per second, but I'll show you how to interleash your protocol and make this really big. We've set up our technology in a way that really gets rid of the problem of possible payment privacy. Well done. This is what we made for the cost of order payment task. Open the internet, we call it the idea. The internet connects people all over the world, and Interledger does the same. This model doesn't need a single global blockchain. It needs many. This means that the volume is theoretically endless, so there are always parts to use. There is no center point of the internet, so it still works. This means that Ripple works the same way. When it is decentralized, it can grow forever, and our XRP-based funding offer backs that up. That is a normal blockchain, but XRP was designed from the start to be used for transfers. At night, all you can see is Bitcoin, which moves very slowly and gets slower as more transactions are added. Very, very fast and big, the kind of XRP. There's a lot of room, so